Sports Matters TV, bringing the sports home.
Okay, guys, welcome to Sports Matters TV. It's another big wrestling interview. We've had, Drew McIntyre on with us last week. The lady next to me right now, Mariah, she is a huge UK star. It's only a matter of time before we see her on the big screens in America. Mariah, how's things with you? You're staying safe?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all is good. Restrictions are starting to be lifted in Ireland, so we can do a bit more shopping. I'm doing too much online shopping, so I'm glad, things are starting to open. We can start doing stuff normally again. But obviously, the independent scene's coming to a halt. Are you bored? Are you getting to do stuff around the house? Are you staying busy?
So I am staying busy, but I do really miss wrestling because at the start of this year, I was booked so that I literally didn't have a week off until something like August. So I was like getting into the swing of literally, because I have a full-time job as well. So I was getting into the swing of like working 5 days a week, on the Friday night, driving somewhere to wrestle, Saturday and Sunday wrestling all weekend, and then back into the day job. And I also do YouTube as well. So I was really getting into the swing of like juggling all these things. And initially, like, it was a bit of a shock. I thought, it's quite a lot to handle, but I was really passionate about, doing all these different things. And the day job, not so much, just for money. I'm not passionate about that. But, the YouTube and the wrestling, like, super passionate about. And obviously, you have to spend a lot of time in the gym. There was a point where I was really stressed. And I always think back to that point now. And I'm like, I would give anything to go back to that schedule. Because now, I am busy, but I'm not getting to wrestle, which is just heartbreaking. And, even watching wrestling now, you just have this, like, feeling in your stomach. You're just like, that's not me, and I wish it was. But I've just tried to stay really busy, like with working out, and I do YouTube, like I say. So I just kind of went full force into YouTube, and I've just made loads of videos about some wrestling stuff, different passions, just doing like live streams and chatting with people, a little bit of gaming, just trying to kind of keep active and keep engaged with people, because a lot of my following comes from, they followed my wrestling journey. They saw me start training. They saw me have my first match. They've seen me wrestle like all over the UK. And I kind of was like, oh, I've got nothing to show them now because I'm not wrestling. So I was like, what can I do to kind of try and like keep them engaged? And I've just tried to really just keep busy with YouTube and just like get to know me outside of wrestling, I guess.
Awesome. And like your fan base is huge. We're seeing your name pop up all the time now. Obviously there's a lot of indie stars talking about you, but tell us, how did your love for wrestling come? Were you a fan of wrestling growing up, or were you just did you catch on quite late?
No, I was actually a big fan growing up. I have two older brothers, so we always used to watch wrestling together and try it at home, even though you're not meant to. We always used to. I feel like kids just do. So yeah, we always watched wrestling. And then, I don't know, I guess my brothers kind of just grew out of it and moved on to different things, but I just always loved it. I could never, even as my life changed, I always watched wrestling in some way or another. As a kid, I used to just be obsessed. I couldn't wait to get home on a Friday and watch Friday Night SmackDown. But even like in sixth form, I went to boarding school in the week, and like, I just couldn't wait to get home at the weekend so I could just watch all the wrestling that I've missed. So it's like weird that it's just always, I don't think I've had something in my life like that where it's just always been there in some way or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always wanted to be a wrestler growing up, and I think people just think, oh, she'll grow out of it. Like, everyone when they're younger, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be this crazy thing, and I was like, I want to be John Cena. And I was like, oh, she'll grow out of it. But I never really did. And then I think recently, obviously in the UK, it's become way more accessible.
Yeah.
And like even with Total Divas and Total Bellas and stuff, my mum watches that with me, because my family don't watch wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like they love football, that's their thing. They kind of obviously know what it is. Like my brothers watched it when they were younger, and like my mum and dad vaguely know what it is. But me and my mum actually watch Total Bellas and Total Divas together. And on E, it's a reality show about all the WWE superstars' lives, the girls. And it was really nice because then my mum kind of got to see like what I wanted to do, but it was in a way that was accessible to her. It wasn't like heavy wrestling. It was a bit of wrestling, a bit of the procedure, a bit of their lives. And my mum loves it now. She's like obsessed, so she loves Nikki Bella. But it was nice to kind of show them that, because then that kind of made them sort of see what I was doing and get a bit of an idea of what it was that I was just so passionate about. But yeah, I've always loved it. Always wanted to be a wrestler, and then here I am.
I love it. And like, speaking of wrestling, obviously it's a very tough industry. There's a lot of work that has to go into it. Where did the courage come first there to enter your first wrestling school and learn the ropes?
Um, I just, I've never been so nervous about anything, and it's funny because like I did a lot of theatre, so like I'm used to auditions. I'm used to nerves before you go out and you perform. Even sometimes rehearsals, you get a bit nervous. So like I'm used to that, and I thought it would be fine. But I remember finding the school and like because I was 18. And I was like, is it okay if I go to my parents? I don't know why I asked them, even being nervous to ask them. And then they're like, yeah, cool. And then I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening. And I just remember I've never felt so nervous in my life, but I guess it's because I've probably never cared about anything as much. And also, I guess you just really don't know what to expect. Because I feel like with theatre and stuff, you know what that's like. Like it's quite a common thing. Whereas with wrestling, I feel like it's like, what do you even do when you're? Because like everyone who finds out I'm a wrestler and they're not a wrestler, their first question is like, how do you do it? Like, how does it work? How do you go to training? What happens? So I feel like you don't know what to expect. And then also, like I say, I don't think I've ever cared about anything as much as wrestling. So I just literally remember feeling like sick with nerves and hardly sleeping. And I honestly feel like I was up to 4 a.m. Like I tried to go to bed. I tried to go to bed at like 7, like, get like so much sleep so I'd be like fresh. And I just remember like just laying there, like, not watching telly, not my phone, nothing, but I would just keep checking. And I think I even like dreamt about it in my sleep. When you're so anxious, like I think I even had like half a dream about it, and I woke up like, did that happen or not? And I just literally just remember feeling like having so many butterflies. But yeah, then I got there, and it was just real. It was like finally real that I got to train and do something I kind of envisioned for like as long as I can remember. And once I actually, got there and got into it, like it was amazing, because that kind of, those butterflies turn to adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because like when you care about something, you do get nervous, but once you get into it, it kind of fuels you. And it was just the best thing ever, like best day.
Definitely. And like 2019 was a great year for you. We've seen some incredible matches, and you're wrestling, some of the elite in the UK, and on the independent scene. Were you happy with the way 2019 went for you? Obviously, getting that fan base and, shining throughout your matches.
Yeah, I mean, 2019, I made my debut. Like, because even I'm like disorientated now. I think it's because of lockdown. I'm kind of like, what year is what? Like, I kind of tried to struggle when things are, but that was when it all kind of started officially. I'm really happy with how it went. Like, I got to wrestle so many incredible people, from Nina Samuels, Lana Austin, so many different girls across the UK. And it was just like the first, I mean, it's my first year, so it's obviously going to be special for me, but I got to travel, and I got to really be on the road and see what it was like to be a wrestler. The one thing that I wish I did was wrestle a little bit more and put myself out there, because I think I mean, it's a tricky one, because the advice I was given was, don't wrestle anywhere else apart from the school that I was training at. But then it kind of got to the later half of the year, and then I just thought, I'm just going to put myself out there and start to wrestle more, because I felt like every time I had a match, I would get better. Like, you significantly improve, because the only way to learn is to do it. You can be so good in training, but when you get in front of a crowd, it's like a different beast. So you have to, and I've been training for a year before my debut, so by that point I'd had like a year and a half of training, had a couple of matches, and I was like, I just really want to get my teeth into it. Like, I really want to get out there and travel and learn it, like how like Toni Storm, like I want to do what she did and travel and learn. And then at kind of the later half of the year, I started to email people. I put together a CV, a Dropbox, put together my content, put myself out there, and then the bookings came in. And then and then that's why I'm so busy this year.
Yeah.
Obviously I got cut short, but it's because I'd done that work last year to contact everyone and kind of go and help out, or see what I could do. And then this year I was booked everywhere, and it kind of, it paid off, and I was getting to wrestle. And so that's the one thing I wish I did a little bit sooner, was just kind of put myself out there. But at the end of the day, I got to where I needed to get to eventually. And the later half of 2019, I was quite busy. And then the start of this year, especially the start of this year, I got to work with All Star, I got to tour. And I learned so much. Like, I grew as a performer in a week more than I did in like a month previously, because when you're working all the time, you learn so much. And also it's very fun. That's what you train to do. You train to wrestle. So when you actually get the chance to do it in front of a crowd, it's the best feeling.
And I love the way you work full time, because obviously I work full time as well. Obviously we have our hobbies, which are our dreams, and we we work hard and grit it out until we get there. But obviously this year was set to be a massive year for you. Obviously there's going to be a lot more traveling now. Hopefully July, August you get to kick back on. But obviously you're a fast learner, and you know what you want. like, would you like to wrestle in Japan, or are you keen just to obviously, get out to America for a bit and then obviously, have a bigger year in 2021?
So Japan is a really big goal of mine, but I kind of want to get better before I get there. I know I'll learn so much in Japan, but I kind of want to go with like a set of skills that can be built on rather than go very, very new and then kind of, I could feel like they could do more for me at a higher level, and kind of help me finesse things. And, I watch a lot of Stardom. It's a really big goal of mine, and hopefully that will be something in my future. My immediate goal, I mean, it's obviously just to wrestle and train because, we've been put on hold, but I kind of had plans to wrestle across the UK, plans to wrestle in different places in Europe. I kind of just want to, off my own back, kind of travel around and get that experience. And I mean, wrestle, like I say, because it's fun, it's the best way to learn, but off my own back, I kind of want to accomplish these things such as, I've already wrestled all over the UK. I wrestled in Belfast. Now I kind of want to wrestle around Europe and kind of get that. And then my later goals will be Japan and then maybe America, because obviously it's huge for wrestling in America. But I kind of just want to like get that level here where I kind of am a little bit more experienced than what I am right now before I kind of get into those big exposed. I know I put myself out there on YouTube and stuff, but I feel like once you're in America, different people are looking at you. And I feel like I want to go there and be the best I can be. I want to put forward like my best package. So for me, I just want to travel around Europe, I think, travel around the UK, learn, hopefully Japan, hopefully America in the future.
Definitely.
Not a lot of things to do.
No, but that's definitely the plan. And you mentioned Toni Storm. Obviously, we've had Toni on with us there in the past. Obviously, she's doing great things. She made her Royal Rumble debut last year. She's obviously, made that big move over to the UK. I think she still lives in the UK. Obviously, you'd like to follow in her footsteps. And is there any kind of ladies that inspire you in wrestling at the moment? Obviously, we see Toni Storm. We see the legends like Lita. What kind of female wrestlers inspired you these last couple of years?
Wow. I mean, there's quite a few. I think someone who was quite important to me was Sasha Banks because, like I said, I was kind of in sixth form. And when you leave sixth form, you have to obviously go into the next step of your life. And everyone just expects you to know what you want to do. And it was so difficult because I really wanted to wrestle and everyone was like, no, you have to pick something serious. And I'm like, it is serious, you know what I mean? And I felt like I was really getting a lot of resistance from, my school and, my teachers, because they were like, that's not a proper job. You're so clever, you're wasting your brains. And I'm like, oh God, do you know what I mean? It was just so frustrating because I thought, I know how much it takes to wrestle and how business savvy you have to be and how smart you have to be and how much work goes into it. And I just felt like they didn't take it seriously. And it was really getting me down because, I'm 17, so I remember going home actually, and I used to sit on the network. I just used to watch wrestling, and I remember it was Becky and Sasha. I think it was a takeover kind of match, and I can't remember which one specifically. I saw it come up the other day, and it actually reminded me. And I remember watching it because I stayed up to watch it. And this was kind of when I was really just getting into NXT, because this is when NXT was kind of new and they were doing a lot with the women. And I just remember watching it and just thinking, no, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do. And then, following from that, I used to love Sasha Banks. And when they come up onto Raw, she did so much for Charlotte as well. And she was incredible. When you just really connect with someone and you really so I think it was the time was when I had to make that big decision and I was getting so much resistance, but also she's such a fantastic wrestler. And, that's how I want to be. So I think definitely Sasha, because of it really gave me the courage watching some of her work. I thought, no, that's what I want to do. So definitely Sasha Banks. I think Asuka and Io Shirai, I've always said, they're fantastic. Seeing when they came in Survivor Series, Io Shirai, I just thought she just blew everyone out of the water. She was incredible. Asuka's just fantastic. She's killed it for years. So yeah, definitely Asuka, Io Shirai, and Sasha Banks. I could go on, but I won't. But probably those three. But just because Sasha, especially, just because of the timing, I think. When things happen for a reason, and you just see something, and you think, "No, I'm meant to do this." And I think that was definitely it, because I was just getting so much pushback, and I just thought, I just felt really down about it. And then I watched that, and I thought, "That's amazing! I want to do that." So yeah.
And she's so laid back in real life, Sasha Banks. We met her in New Orleans for WrestleMania and New York last year. She's so chilled, and when she hears the Irish accent, she's like, oh, You know, she's just so like she hasn't got a bad bone in her body, I'd say. You know, but she's definitely a Hall of Famer in the near future, and obviously she's going to win.
Definitely.
And we have to ask you, Mariah, like obviously, is it fair to say your big dream and your big goal is to eventually join the WWE?
Yeah, I would say it is because, I mean, I love it. I watch it all the time. The thing is with WWE is like, I watch it as much as I did as a child. It's very rare to find something in your life, like I said earlier, that sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know, until like, how can something I loved when I was 8 years old can I still love now at 21? Like, that's incredible, right? And you know, I love WWE. I think it's fantastic. I actually had a tryout. I've seen the facility. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely in the future, when I can bring enough to the table, my big goal is WWE. And like I say, a lot of my dream matches, they're in WWE. So hopefully one day in the future, like I've achieved my childhood dream. But yeah, for now, it's just about me just getting that experience and just trying to build myself up to be at that level.
Definitely. We have to ask you quickly, speaking of dream match, okay, now there's probably loads of dream matches, but who would be your dream match? Is it Sasha Banks or is it someone else?
Oh, it's so tough because like growing up, my dream match was always Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I can't let that go, even though I think she's pretty much retired now. I don't know. But my dream match was always Trish. And I actually did a live stream with someone and Trish came into the live stream and said yes. Because I said like, you're my dream match, and she actually said yes. So like, that's like my dream match. And she's kind of said yes. So I feel like it has to happen now. Yeah. But like I said, I could go on and list a lot of people, but I think definitely in terms of like legends, it would be Trish and Mickie James because I grew up watching them. And, you know, Trish especially means a lot to me because I think she improved so much in front of our own eyes and she really battled the stigma of like being a model. And she showed that like, if you put your head down and you have that passion, you can prove people wrong. And I get a lot of stick for the way that I look. So, and I think, oh, how unfair is that? Because I've loved wrestling since I was a child and I work really, really hard. Yeah. But you just have to prove them wrong with what you do in the ring. So, you know, for that reason, definitely Trish, definitely Mickie and Sasha.
I love it.
I'm not greedy at all.
Not at all. But we've got Mickie James on. We've got Mickie James on next week, so I'm going to name drop that because Mickie, I think she's still involved. She's still kind of involved, I believe. But we've got Mickie on next week, so I promise I'm going to name drop that, and I'll send you the link to the reaction. But we're going to plug your YouTube page. Obviously, we're big fans of your YouTube stuff. We're going to hopefully see you in Ireland. Obviously, OTT Wrestling is in Ireland and Phoenix Wrestling in Cork. So hopefully we see you here in the near future. And, of course, we're going to keep following your journey. Hopefully we don't have to contact your agent next year to get a hold of you. Hopefully you always remember us. And it's a pure honor, Mariah. So thank you very much for speaking to us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Anytime. And we'll catch you soon. Stay safe. Don't work too hard when you're back to work and keep going for your dreams. It's only a matter of time, okay?
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Anytime. We'll see you soon and look after yourself. Thank you very much.